if it's overbearing.
Yeah. People have already have some gun shyness about hexproof.
Hollow Fountain untapped. This is a favorite hoplite. Erik going to play a Temple of Abandon. Take a look at the top card. That card looks like it's going to be moving to the bottom, and it is. So Canavan going to untap here. It's time to make that into a real creature.
It looks like he has a God's Willing and some stuff to do, so this might be able to do some real work.
I believe that is a Trait Doctrine. I believe. It's been a little while since I've seen that card. So here's a trigger, and then Trait Doctrine is going to cipher.
Wow.
So yeah, basically what this is a bit of combo deck.
Oh yeah, now we are going off.
And of course, God's Willing is going to allow him to protect that. And there is the Trait Doctrine. So change the text of target permanent by replacing all instances of one color with another or one basic land type until end of turn. Basically, a lot of that text is irrelevant. It's just the fact that you get to target your guy over and over and over again.
Yeah.
For heroic.
Although I'm sure Hatch has all number of stories about this thing.
Yeah, of course he does. Greg always going deep. Here's a Courser of Crewfix. Top card is going to be a copy of Xenagos the Reveler. See if Erik has a land to play here, if he needed the top card to be a land. Looks like he has another copy of Temple of Abandon. But that favorite hoplite right now is getting big.
I mean, it's a 4/5.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a 5/6. I mean, this is outside of Mortar's range, like now. And I think Chris has multiple copies of God's Willing in his hand, too.
Make it safe. Blood Crypt's going to be the top card as Xenagos to go to the bottom from the scry. Chris will take a draw here. He's tapping some mana in the main phase. This is a hidden string, so tap that down. Target this. Erik's going to take a look. We'll do the same. Look at the Cypher deck going to work.
And who said Demir got the short end of the stick?
Yeah, what were you even talking about? You may tap or untap target permanent, and then you can do it again?
Oh, my God.
I don't mind if I do. Give you the business. In we go. Now you get the Cypher. Now we get to do it again. Yep. And now with just God's Willing at the ready. That thing is huge, and God's Willing can actually push things through. So this is going to start, yep, and now it's going to untap.
Okay. So that's a 7/8.
Ultimate price, the top card here for Smith. He's going to play a Mutavault and gain a life. Here comes some mana. There's a Stormbreath Dragon. And one would think that could hold the fort, but I don't think that's actually the case. Due to Chris having, as you said, multiple copies of God's Willing in hand.
Well, the issue now is there's, he needs to use one this turn to push through the Stormbreath Dragon in theory. And then he needs to save another one for the ultimate price in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little more complicated than that.
Before he draws, we're going to trigger this. Going to make that a little bit bigger. You have to imagine Pro Red will be the choice. As there is God's Willing to give protection and let's just scry. You get select red to be able to push through the Stormbreath Dragon and maybe force the block here from the Courser. But can he push through the last points of damage? Because he does have another copy of God's Willing in hand, so he may have some interest in casting that to keep forcing through damage, but that's not the case here. So there's just a simple block.
Yep.
No ciphering will take place, and Chris is just going to have to pass the turn back.
So what is the exact functionality of Trait Doctrine? It permanently changes?
Yes?
So if he connects, can he change the Stormbreath Dragon to no longer have Pro White?
Oh boy. We'll take a look at
We'll find out in a moment.
Yeah, we'll take a look at Trait Doctrine one more time.
I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Yeah. Here's an ultimate price on the upkeep. So yeah, change the text. There's a God's Willing going to take care of the ultimate price. Pro Black is what's going to happen now. There will be a scry here in just a moment. But change the text of target permanent by replacing all instance of one color word with another of or one basic land type of another. So yeah, if this gets through, he can change the protection from white on there to protection from whatever.
Ooh.
Now here's an Ordeal of Thassa. You're going to trigger. Yep, that's plenty of those. So I'll make sure we have the right number of counters on there. So Ordeal will trigger, obviously, as there is a boatload of these. You get a counter for attacking. I hope Chris has a lot of dice with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stormbreath Dragon's just going to block, of course. Because Chris's favorite hoplite has protection from black right now from ultimate price, but does not have protection from white. Now there is the mighty Laguna Band Trailblazer. And that is a real doozy.
4 copies of this bad boy.
Just, what do you know about that 04?
Probably really good against Boss Sly, I would imagine. Good luck.
I imagine this whole deck is good against Boss Sly.
I mean, I imagine this deck get certain draws that just fold to a shock, but if you get something online, then
Yeah, they lose.
yeah.
I think you can play in such a way that shock isn't actually good against you, too.
Sure.
I imagine. Uh-oh, Mutavault's feeling frisky. So here comes that in Scavenging Ooze. Looks like an attack here for 5. Laguna can block. You have to be a little bit scared of the old Rampager here.
I don't know what else this Trailblazer is doing otherwise.
Trailblazing.
Well, it's not really blazing. And that's also, it's really weird to make an 0-4 a Trailblazer. It seems like something that sort of stays at home a lot. You know what I mean? It's not really going out very much.
Well, he's got to get the engine going.
Right.
Got to get the engine revved. Here is the GWOR Clan Rampager, and it looks like Erik's also going to remove that from the graveyard here and make Ooze a little bit bigger. So forcing through some damage via Trample and Scavenging Ooze. And Stormbreath Dragon playing defense quite well. That protection from white, not just thrown on that card on accident. As Chris will take a draw here. Can he find another copy of God's Willing, maybe to push through damage? Doesn't look like it. Another copy of Ordeal Thassa. That'll draw him 2 more cards. Make his favorite Hoplite bigger, too, if he does want to cast right now, and looks like he does.
Well, also keep in mind he has 4 copies of Aqueous Form in his deck, too.
Oh, baby.
So that's another way for him to just win the game if he's able to find it.
I actually forgot about that. A card that actually saw some play in block.
Yeah.
It'll push through damage. I think Chris is considering if he can afford to attack right now. He's going to. Of course, Ordeal's going to put a counter on there, and that's going to die. And now we're going to draw 2 cards, and you have to imagine Stormbreath Dragon's going to block, and it will, yet again. Chris is maybe just drawing too many lands here. Also, I think Hidden Strings would be a relatively good draw, just to tap down the dragon. It's not great, but it would be good. You see Ooze is going to go active here, take care of the Trailblazer. I think the big question right now for Chris is, am I dead?
So 8, 6, 5. It is lethal on board.
Will Erik make a lethal attack? The thing here is that you don't really know what your opponent can have because you're playing against what is a relatively unknown archetype. So it's very easy for us here and you guys at home to just say, yeah, you just kill him. But he can have anything.
Yeah, this is one of the upsides of playing a deck like Blue-White Heroic, is your opponent's just working with incomplete information. It's got lethal, but can he pull the trigger?
And Ooze right now is sitting at a 5/5. Dragon will make it 9. Eldritch will make 10. Mutavault can make it 12. There could also be a Monstrosity activation as well. I think there are a lot of different ways for Smith to kill him this turn, but he has to tread pretty carefully here.
Yeah, I mean, he can, if he attacks and anything goes wrong, he dies.
Yeah.
So that's dangerous stuff.
And you can see right now, the former Invitational champion is bewildered, doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
One thing about Trait Doctoring is it's in fact it looks like they only last until end of turn.
Oh, okay. So it's not a long-term solution.
That's too bad. I guess that would make the card too good. Maybe, maybe not. So the dragon looks like it's coming out of the red zone here. Erik feels pretty uneasy about this situation right now. God's Willing looks like it was the draw. So here comes an island. Now, God's Willing isn't the end-all be-all simply because there's a Mutavault hanging out back there.
Yep.
That's the big problem.
And this may be one of the reasons that Erik decided to be pretty defensive this turn, is that he has a lot of things covered here. One God's Willing does not kill him, for example.
I think this situation where playing defensively is probably appropriate, especially when you don't know what your opponent can have. Like, trying to go for it is probably the wrong way to go about things, just because you could die.
Yeah, if he has nothing, let's say, you just go end of turn, monstrous my Storm Breath, untap, kill you.
Yeah.
If he does have something, then you die for sure on the way back.
Yep.
So it makes a lot of sense for Erik here to play slightly more conservative than he absolutely has to.
Here are the strings. And they are rather hidden. There's some tapping and some untapping of things here. Okay. Looks like Smith is going to add a green mana with Elvish Mystic in preparation for Scavenging Ooze. You know, I do not believe there's anything to remove right now.
Yeah, it looks empty.
And so now Chris could attack. That's a 12. That's a 13 power creature. But even that's not enough at this point. And all he can do is just pass the turn back, so nothing exciting there. Domri was the draw there for Smith. That one doesn't matter too much. But one thing that Smith did not do is he did not go monstrous with the Stormbreath Dragon, of course, because he didn't want to leave his Mutavault down.
Exactly.
So
once the elf gets tapped, Chris says declare attackers. That's the opportunity for him to use the mana to monstrous. He doesn't want to do it there because he is likely to die.
Smith still treading pretty carefully here. This is 3 mana. Looks like he will deploy the Planeswalker. So in that comes, this elevator is probably going up, and it is. Take a look. Top card, Sylvan Caryatid. That'll get added to the hand. You see his other cards in Smith's hand right now are Mizzium Mortars and Golgari Charm, which don't do anything.
The Golgari Charm does give him protection against Aqueous Form.
Ooh.
So that is kind of a big deal.
Hello. There. So long as Erik leaves that black mana up, that is important right now. Good old Aqueous Form.
Because if he taps out, or if he taps for this Sylvan Caryatid, then Aqueous Form plus God's Willing kills him, I believe.
Would it surprise you right now if he just played like Elvish, if he used Elvish Mystic and Blood Crypt to play this? This could get ugly. Oh no. He's tapping the black. He's got God's Willing covered, but if Aqueous Form comes rolling off, I think you're right. I think it'll be a game over. And he's going searching for it. Here's God's Willing. That's going to trigger Heroic. Take a look at the top card. He left it on top pretty quick. That was on the upkeep, I imagine. Oh, yep. Draw. Aqueous Form.
Oh, my God.
Trigger Heroic. 6, 12, 13, 14. That's 15.
Oh, my God.
And he didn't leave
found.
up.
Yeah, he tapped out
He
there.
didn't leave up G-Charm.
This is the two exact cards that by playing the Caryatid he walked into, and Chris steals that game.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Blue-White Heroic does win game number 1 here over Erik Smith playing Jund Monsters, and Chris knows that he just stole one.
Yeah, well, Erik had him dead on board 2 turns ago.
Yep.
Had him dead again, and then had the ability to play around the running outs that Chris had access to.
This is the advantage of playing an unknown archetype.
Some uncertainty is a good thing to have in a tournament there.
Absolutely.
If Erik knows the deck list, there's no way he loses that game.
No.
No way he loses that game.
Time to look at sideboards, and we will look at Erik's first.
He has 2 copies of Anger of the Gods, 3 Midscutter Hydras, 2 Rakdos Return, 2 Nylea's Disciple, a Golgari Charm, a Chandra Pyromaster, a Doomblade, 2 Putrefies, 1 Gruul Charm. So I think we can safely bring in 2 copies of Putrefy and a Doomblade here. Additional removal is pretty nice. And I'm not sure if you really want Anger of the Gods for this matchup. Chris has a lot of ways to circumvent that, either by making his creature too big or by just using the Trailblazer or Nimbagus Elemental. So I think the additional spot removal is definitely good, but past that, there's nothing I'd really go to here.
Other side of things, we're going to look at a real doozy of a sideboard. 4 Celestial Flare, 4 Ordeal of Heliod, a Rootborn Defenses, 2 Battle-Wise Hoplite, 2 Swift Justice, and 2 Mortal Obstinance. Why don't I know this card? Do you know this card?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Oh my goodness, I am currently embarrassed. Mortal Obstinacy. Let me make sure I know what this is.
Obstinacy, I believe, is the pronunciation.
I don't know words. I don't know what this card does.
We're going to the tape.
We are certainly going to the tape from Journey to Nyx. Relatively new. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. When enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, you may sacrifice this. If you do, destroy target enchantment.
Okay.
Sure. What's that for?
I wouldn't even want. I would, in a broad sense, I would assume enchantments, but I don't really want to speculate on the actual.
Well, I guess I'll be the one that looks like an idiot here. That's fine. It is for an enchantment strategy. It is certainly there to kill something. Not quite sure what, but you know what that means. It means someone's got to head into the sideboard here.
Yeah.
In just a moment. That's where Chris is probably headed after this match, win or loss.
So do you like any of these cards in this matchup? I'm not really.
Maybe you want more. Maybe you want more threats like Battlewise Hoplite.
Sure.
Because I'm not really all that impressed by like Laguna, Bond, Trailblazer. Additionally, Battlewise Hoplite is a multicolor creature, and you know your opponent has ultimate price, so that could be a place to go. I think that's really about it, though. So see how he does sideboard. All right, wait for these players to finish up. We're gonna take a look at our Season 3 schedule here really quickly, because it's already underway. Obviously, we've already done Vegas, we've done Portland, and we're here in Worcester, but we've got some more dates to cover after that.
Yep, we're gonna be going to Baltimore. I'm gonna be off for that show. You're gonna be doing it with OSIP.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. Modern Premier IQs, and I'm going to a Paramore concert on Friday. Boom.
Exciting stuff. And then down the list here, KC, and me and you for KC, Dallas, and Syracuse, 3 weekends in a row.
I'm getting tired of that.
Then after Syracuse, we're off. Gen Con's that weekend in Indianapolis. Star City has a large dealer presence there.
Yep.
So we're gonna be there with no event. And then DC, Jerry T.
His debut.
His debut.
That should be fun. Of course.
Go easy on him.
I'll try. There's no guarantee. You know, his restriction with working at Wizards of the Coast allows him, well, doesn't allow him, I should say, to play for a month after a set comes out. So it kind of lines up unfavorably for him, but favorably from a coverage aspect. And Jerry's like, I need things to do. Can I come in the booth? And hey, yeah, you can come in the booth.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff.
Yeah, let's bring him in. It should be fun. There in DC as we work our way through the rest of the schedule here. Last but certainly not least, you, me, and Matthias in Somerset for the Invitational. Look at the smile on your face. Every time we go to Jersey, you are just pleased as punch.
We got a lot of trips this year. It's been really nice.
Really do. I'm so glad we're going to Ohio as much as Jersey.
Open series. There's an open series. And now there's an open series that got added to the schedule.
Yeah.
And an Invitational.
Yep.
And a Grand Prix.
Yeah. And we've gone to Columbus twice. What's it going to take for us to go to Cleveland? How about Cleveland?
The thing is,
can I see my parents once?
New Jersey, like there might be other spots in Ohio that are more convenient for Star City for a variety of reasons than Cleveland.
It's not about
and there's a lot of places in Ohio to choose from.
It's not about convenience. It's about my happiness, and I would like to go to Cleveland for a tournament again. Well, thankfully, we got to go to Cleveland last year. And you know what? It was great. You know why? Because it was in Cleveland.
You got to touch that. You got to, hit up that in contract negotiations.
Renegotiations. Yeah. Again. I demand 4 events in Cleveland next year. 1 Invitational, 1 Grand Prix, 2 Open Series events. Or I'm out of here. That's it. Do you think I'm being a little, maybe too much? Maybe I'm asking for too many things?
It's a lot. I mean,
you have to go to Jersey 4 times.
Right. But it's not like Star City is going to New Jersey because I want to be there. It's just a happy coincidence.
Well, sure, a lot of people happen to come to the tournaments, but we don't really know what Cleveland's capable of because we don't ever get to go there.
Well, we have some idea of what Cleveland's capable of because we have numerous events in the Ohio area. So we actually do have a frame.
Greatness. Greatness is what it's capable of. Actually, when we were there, it was very dreary and kind of ugly. But that's okay. That's my home.
Yeah.
I like my home. Looks like both players taking a mulligan down to 6 here.
How far did you grow up outside the city proper?
25, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Probably less than that, I think. In the rough suburbs of Strongsville. Barely made it out alive.
Yeah. I doubt that story
all those
is true.
Nerf guns.
Yeah.
Real scary stuff, dude. Busy playing Magic. It was very scary.
Yeah.
In my hometown. Playing Magic at the local comic book store.
Hard Scrabble upbringing.
You have no idea. Watching Home Alone in my downtime. While being home alone. Chris with a really, really impressive Game 1 win there. Yeah. I like the fact that, no one's going to really know what he's up to over the course of the weekend. Don't forget he mulliganed once that game.
5. He went to 5.
He went to 5 that game?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty good draw.
Doesn't take a lot,
That's true. That's definitely true.
And the deck plays 18 lands. It has a lot of the Tom Ross element to it, too, where you kind of have some amount of implied card advantage because you will have more spells than your opponent over the course of the game.
We've got some Cleveland fans here on Twitter. They want the Open Series back in Cleveland. I'm with you, guys. I'm with you. Negotiations.
Yeah, you're going to have to, you're going to have to bring that up at the end of the year. That's the way these things get settled. You have so many demands already that I don't know.
Yeah, which ones
You
am
gotta
I
figure out-
supposed to let go?
You have to figure out how to prioritize it.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's really difficult. How badly do I want to go to Cleveland versus New Orleans or other places?
San Diego.
Wouldn't hate that. Wouldn't hate that. That San Diego show we did, that was me. You were there, right? It
Yeah.
was me and you. Yeah, that was, do you know it was the beginning of last year?
No, I did not know that.
It was the first weekend of last year.
It'd be pretty crazy if they had me not work the show in San Diego.
That'd be
So-
great. You get to deal. You get to battle.
I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I have it in me right now.
Oh, come on. Yes, you do. Bird's even good right now. I don't know if Bird will be good then, but Bird's good now.
I mean, I'd mix it up, but it's not.
We'll find a standard deck for
I'd
you.
rather cover.
All right.
I don't need a standard deck, man. 4 deal 4 with Convoke. Lock it up.
Stroke them, their flames.
Yeah.
There'll probably be a deck there. Let's see what kind of 6-card hands these two players can find here.
Well, Chris is all the way down to 5 again.
5 again? Come on, Chris. I guess it worked for him last time.
I mean, the mana is pretty tight on this deck, you know? There's only 18 lands, 4 of them are mana confluences. You're going to get draws that are not keepable a good percentage of the time.
Yeah, the mana wasn't good in block for this deck. It's not really good in standard either.
Yeah.
4 Hollow Fountain, 4 mana confluence, 5 islands, 5 plains. You're going to fail a lot.
Can't even mess around with Temple of Enlightenment. There's just not enough time.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately, you do get to actually, like, you get to scry with God's Willing, and, you know, you get to kind of fix some things here, but, you know, your opening hands, there could be some real trouble there. And he's going down to 4, so I imagine we're probably going to play a third game here in a bit. We'll see, of course.
I don't know. All it takes is one favorite hoplite, God's Willing, and
That's Game Boys.
hidden strings.
Yes.
And that's all you need.
Consider it over with.
It requires very little setup. I mean, he had 4 lands in play last game and was comfortably flooding out. You know,
Yes,
so-
that's true. That's definitely true. Our backup match between Jared Betcher and Max Tietz is over, so we'll see if we have another match to move to, but Betcher moved on to 3-0. Not sure what Tietz is playing this weekend, but another former Invitational champion in the house. And Tietz has had a lot of success outside that Invitational, so. And apparently, if you follow Max Tweets on Facebook or you're friends with him, he like put out like a brand new CD. I didn't know he makes music.
You know, that was my first, oh man, I'm getting old moment in Magic ever.
Okay.
I played him at Grand Prix Columbus in 2010,
Okay.
thereabouts. And back when I was working at Target, running that store, he used to play in my JSSs.
Okay.
Because him and his brother, you know, I knew his mom, you know, they come down to these events or
Yeah,
whatever.
sure.
And so we played. I'm like, oh, what have you been up to? And in my head, it's still, you know, 13-year-old Max Tietz or whatever. He's like, oh, you know, in college in a band. And it's like, oh wow, it happens so fast.
Yeah, it's just, you know, making music, living my life,
Yeah.
as it were. Yeah, he put out some new music on Facebook. That was pretty sweet, so.
I've not checked it out yet, but I will.
Chris going to give a hearty shuffle. He doesn't want a mulligan again. So he has to go to 4 cards here. 4, that's not a lot.
But still, with a Hallowed Fountain / Mana Confluence, I think he can get a functional 4-card hand. That's all it takes. If he has colored mana issues, then he's doomed.
Someone here on Twitter makes a very good point.
About
Retrospect. The irony of not having an open series in Cleveland but running a GP in Florida. It's a LeBron James joke.
kind of.
We're taking Star City games to South Beach.
But it was never in Ohio to begin with, so the analogy is not perfect.
I suppose that's true. That'd be really nice if there was supposed to be an open series in Cleveland and it just got removed. Here's a mana confluence. And a favorite hoplite yet again. Smith gonna play a Mutavault. Looking at Missing Mortars.
Kill it.
I would kill it.
Kill
yeah.
it. Just kill it. Eric, just kill it.
I would just
Don't get fancy
I
here.
would get it off the table. Yeah, there it is.
There
All
you
right.
go.
You have the option between that or a Sylvan Caryatid, and I understand wanting to play the Caryatid and ramp, but get the thing off the board.
He may not, if you let him untap, it might be out of Mortar's range next turn. So just.
There is a Caryatid. Or heck, there could even just be a God's Willing, you know? And you just never get the opportunity to kill the stupid thing. Here's an island, just pass the turn back.
And Chris is really flooding out. His hand is 2 more lands in Ordeal of Thassa, so.
Pulakronos in the house. Smith will pass the turn back. Another land here for Canavan. All you can do is pass the turn back. So this looks like it might be a really short one here.
Yep.
Because Mutavault's going to come into the red zone along with Pulakronos. An attack for 7 is going to put Chris down to 12. Couple of ones there in Elvish Mystics, and Erik will pass the turn back.
Pretty rough when the blue-white heroic deck has no board and is holding up Cryptic Command mana. Not a good spot.
Not the best spot, no. No. Blood Crypt maybe going to come untapped here. They'll come into play tap. Mutavault's going to fire up. Here's an attack with 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Will Smith go for the W with Gorkline Rampager? He will try. 6 and 5 is 11, 12, 13. And just like that, we're moving on to a third game between the two. I didn't think it would take too long.
No, it did not.
No, they pulling mulligans to 4 with the heroic combo deck.
And also, his deck has 18 lands, and he had 6 of them or something that game.
It's quite a few of them.
So, not really, not too fair of a sample of what the blue-white heroic deck is capable of in that game.
Now, we did take a look at Season 3, so we'll take a look at Season 4 so we can see some more dates where Cleveland is not on there and New Jersey is.
Yeah.
That really brings excitement. St. Louis, Atlanta, Indy, and Orlando. And of course, with that Indy date, we're also in Edison that weekend as well. So that's important to note. The coverage will actually be over in Edison, but we'll have 2 opens on that weekend of September 27th and 28th.
New ground, and we're very excited about it.
Of course, Jerry will be doing an event in Atlanta with Matthias on the 13th and 14th, so definitely something to watch out there for. In Orlando, of course, we're going to be talking about that a lot this weekend. And all the weekends leading up to October 3rd through the 5th, me, you, and Matthias doing coverage of the Grand Prix.
We talked a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on in Orlando. We showed the commercial, of course, and we just really have scratched the surface. Over the course of the weekend, we're going to be going into some greater detail about what's going on in this event. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a very, very fun Grand Prix. So take a look at our next page of events here. Worcester will be back here the 18th and 19th, and Minneapolis will be at. I've been in Minnie for like 3 years. That's one of my favorite cities. Oakland, which was a lot of fun the last time we were there. And then we'll go to Columbus, which is close.
How far is that from Cleveland?
From where I grew up, an hour and 45 minutes.
Close enough.
I will probably see my parents that weekend.
All right, that's good.
So that works for me.
Yeah.
And then we'll round it out with a couple more dates here. Grand Prix, New Jersey. That one's going to be huge.
We just posted Brainstorm Play Mat.
Yep.
That's going to be a big deal.
I think people may want that.
That's going to be a desired play mat.
Me, you, and Matthias will be doing the coverage there. Then Richmond will be the follow-up. Then Atlanta and Portland. I do know for Grand Prix, New Jersey, and the Open Series in Richmond, some Europeans are already buying flights for the tournament, which doesn't surprise me. And they said, I'm going to be going to Jersey, going to do the Open Series in Richmond, and then fly home.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think that Grand Prix has some record-shattering potential.
I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
There are a lot of sweet things in the works. I think you guys are going to be really, really excited about that. Then we'll finish it up with just a couple more dates here. Seattle, I'll be doing coverage with you and Patrick Chapin, be able to drive to that, and then we'll have to fly to Roanoke for our Players' Championship at the end of the year. Me, you, and Matthias will take care of that as well.
My first time seeing the corporate digs. I'm very excited about going out to Roanoke. And
But we're not going to let you in.
16 players for 50 grand. It's going to be the cream of the crop. I think it's going to be a great tournament.
We'll let you look at Star City, but we're not going to let you in the building.
Okay.
It's in the contract.
Okay.
So, and it's cold in the winter, so get a good look.
Oh, that's right. We're going to be there in December. Right.
And just like that, after that tournament's over, we crown our Players' Championship winner, and then it'll be Christmas. You going to Jersey for Christmas?
I might just drive from Roanoke. I might rent a car and just drive from Roanoke to Jersey.
Yeah?
We'll see.
I'm flying back home to see the parental units.
Looks like Chris might have a keepable 7.
No. I don't believe it. Is it Eric's time to mulligan? If Chris keeps 7, that's it.
Has a Hallowed Fountain too. I mean, this is...
And a wonder. Uh-oh, Niv Mag.
Oh, there it is.
Multicolored creature, ultimate price. Not going to get the job done here. Temple of Abandon, the card that Smith is looking at.
And a very good chance that Mortars is not going to done very soon.
Oh, yeah. Let's see what Chris can do on turn number 2 here. Here's a copy of Mana Confluence. This is a trait doctoring.
Oh. Cypher plus Niv Magus Elemental, for those of you who are unaware.
Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Eat the copy. Make it a 3/4, pass the turn back, presumably with God's Willing available.
He has a Mizium skin.
Oof.
Ooh.
Even better.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Mizium Mortars, huh? That's adorable. Chris is going to tap a mana here. He's going to take 1. I think he just eats Mizium Skin, right?
Yeah, this is... well, he's got to figure out what spell he wants to eat, which one he wants to keep left over. But
sure.
It's going to be some Pac-Man stuff this turn. He's just chomping this.
So there's into Johnny's presence, and he's just going to eat that. So that's going to make this into a 4/5. Or no, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 5. Jeez.
Oh yeah.
This thing doesn't mess around.
No, it does not.
There's a favorite Hoplite. In we go. Trait Doctrine go trigger. We're probably going to Halp that. Yep. 2 more counters. Oh, see what we do? We target and then we eat. Oh my goodness. We target with Heroic, and then we eat it. Sylvan Carry added, huh? Now here's Temple of Abandon. Eric's going to get the scry. Chris is doing his thing right now.
Man, you do not want this guy keeping 7. I'll tell you what.
No, you don't. Not sure what Chris drew that turn. Maybe been a copy of Hidden Strings, I think. Andrew Schropp better be ready because this deck's going to the sideboard.
Yeah. I have a feeling.
There's Hidden Strings. And so there's going to be some triggers here. It's going to untap a land. We're going to Cipher on Niv-Magus Elemental. And now we're casting Aquasea's Form.
Oh my goodness.
And now we're coming into the red zone here. This is just a baiting. This is a baiting. You've got to scry with Aqueous Form.
Mizium Skin still left over in all of this. Haven't even needed that yet.
You have to imagine this is a good matchup, right? Like the only thing they have is removal and you can counter it.
Yeah.
Because your creatures are going to be bigger than theirs.
Mizium Skin plus God's Willing is really tough on a deck who can only interact with you with 2 and 3 pieces of removal.
You see the Cipher here from Hidden Strings is going to target, of course, Favorite Hoplite. He's going to eat that. I imagine he's eating something with Trait Doctoring as well. Just going off. Yep. Target again. Probably eat again. Maybe untap something, but everything's getting bigger. I don't know if we have enough dice at the table. Just an 11 power Niv-Magus Elemental that's unblockable. I'm not, like, really impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's going to do it. Chris is going to win this match with Blue-White Heroic, defeating former Invitational champion Erik Smith and his Jund Monsters deck 2-1. And this deck looks pretty tough to beat if it keeps 7.
Game 1 was the really interesting thing, too, and it shows you a lot of the advantage of brewing in tournaments. Erik had him dead on board.
Yes.
Just couldn't pull the trigger because opponent has 3 cards in hand, 3 mana up. You've maybe never seen this before. What's going on? And that sets the stage for a couple turns later for Chris to steal it. Game 2, he mulligans 4, can't really play, but game 3 has a powerful 7-card hand. Nothing wrong with Eric's draw, but just wasn't even close. I mean, he had turn 2 Mortars, turn 3